Hi everyone, it's Wendy again. This is the last crafting box video. I actually have two of them from Adults and Crafts. The other one is quite large. I'm scared to look at it. I did open it up because my address is on the thing, but I have not peeked. So we get to see what's in here together. So, oh, an embroidery kit! Yippee! I love to embroider. I do cross stitching, knitting, crocheting, you name it, I do it. And I like this, having this paper, and I'll tell you why. Because if you crumple it up and rub it with ink and flatten it out, you can even take and kind of wet it and iron it so it's flat. You can use it in your crafts. So, let's see what we got here. I know what this is. This is transfer paper. Be very gentle with it. There's a MASH episode where Klinger gives Major Winchester a piece of transfer paper, carbon paper, that is so mangled. It's hilarious. So, we have a tote bag, which is cotton. You could do this on polyester, but cotton is better. We have a wooden embroidery hoop, and I like these. These are great because once you finish the design, you can just leave it in there, trim it, place some glue around the outside, and back it, and put some lace around it. It has its own frame. There's the scissors. Ooh, these I'm leaving out. I like these. Any crafter will tell you they never have enough scissors. I got a visitor here. I got my dog Poppy looking at me. And I like these. I call these snips, and they're great for traveling because they are small and lightweight. And if you don't lose the cover, I'm going to leave those out because I am actually working on some crochet projects. Then we have another hoop with some black cotton fabric, and they use DMC. I can tell by the number. DMC floss. They have a wooden hoop. Now, you can use this hoop to stitch in. This is one that is what I consider a flexible hoop because it is not wooden. This is all plastic, and this has some give to it. Oh. They include a needle threader. You can never have enough needle threaders. They include gold beads. They include the needle. Let's see. Yeah, that's a cotton fabric. I'm going to put all this back together again. Now this is one of the, you know, like I mentioned in one of my other videos, someone asked me to show how I doing one of these, and you know what? This might be the perfect one to do, is to do one of these. Now, when I was a young girl, in order to teach us how to embroider, my mother at the time, embroidered denim shirts were all the rage. So my mother bought me and my sister Yvette, who was 2 years younger than me, denim shirts, a whole bunch of floss, and a pattern book. And that's how we learned to do the different stitches. So here we have another kit. And on this one, it is pre-printed. And when you get a pre-printed one like this, you do not want to get it wet because the design is, if it gets wet, it will take and go away. That's why you want to wait until you're done before you wash it. And it looks like there's two of them here. Yeah, this is really thick. No, there's two of them. Are they the same? No. And they've got the needles. Now, when you do an embroidery, you use what they call as sharps. That means it has a point on here, so I would not recommend this for young children. A teen may be able to handle it. if you have a younger child who wants to do it, I would suggest doing the beginner's counter cross stitch kits, because they use a blunt needle called a tapestry needle. Embroidery like this use what we call a sharps, and these are kind of big sharps. I'll pull this stuff out so we can look at everything, and there's more needles in here. Good. So we have this one, and we have this one. So there are 4 pieces to embroider, and yep, these 2 are the same. So I'm going to put these 2 sharps back in the corner. And if you hear a dishwasher running, you will. I'm still in my living room. I am doing dishes. Okay. Now we have another pack of needles in here, and I think these are more sharps. Sharps are what you use for like sewing on buttons and things like that. You also use them when you're doing embroidery. Now, when I talk about embroidery, some people think it includes cross-stitching, needlepoint, candle wicking, things like that. Actually, embroidery is actually its own little niche of needlework. It does fall in the needlework category, which candle wicking, cross-stitch, trapunto, cross-stitching, yeah, these are all sharps. They're all kind of big sharps. You can get shorter sharps, which is what I like, but anyways. So we have more needles. We have what is called a floss sorter, and they're saying embroidery twine color palette. Should be embroidery floss, but whatever. And these numbers here do not coordinate with the numbers here. They're just to give you an idea of where to put them in the order that maybe you use them. 935 is DMC. 3770 is DMC. So these are all DMC flosses. They may not have the DMC logo on them. I'm not sure why. 422, 975. But I recognize the numbers, 760, because I've used all these numbers of floss. 833, 524, at least I think, yeah, 938, 954. So I'm very familiar with this floss, and it's excellent floss. Now, remember, we've got a wooden hoop, we've got what I call a flex hoop, and then we have a plastic hoop. And it works the same as the wooden hoop. The only difference is it is plastic, and it does have a lip on it. If I can get this out, I'll show you. The wooden hoop does not have a lip on it. Plastic hoops do. Is this taped in? Oh, there we go. Okay. Now, in this plastic hoop here, this actually has a ridge right here that fits into this here. Now, not all plastic hoops have this narrow of a ridge. There's some, I think it's Susan Bates makes them, blue ones, and they're actually wider and a little flatter, and they do have the lip on the outer ring, but it's not as deep. This one is quite deep. I have to see how I like that. And it's a screw type. Now, some of these will actually have a locking nut on these. Some of these don't. It depends upon the brand and the maker of the hoop. So I'm going to put all this stuff back in here, and we'll look at the directions. Now these ones would make nice little pillows. So be careful, I'm going to stuff myself with those 2 large needles in there. Put that all there. I'll set that all to the side here. I'm going to put this inside of here when we get done talking about it. The embroidery kits includes all the materials needed to complete 3 different projects: a flower embroidery project, and a bead embroidery project, and a customized embroidery tote project. They have YouTube videos to help with the written instructions. Once you learn the basics, you'll be able to add embroidery to just about any fabric, which is very true. People have done it on velvet, and we got another visitor. Included is a practice cloth of the same flower embroidery pattern, so you can learn the techniques without worry. So that's why they put 2 of that one pattern in here, so that you have a practice one. Then they talk about the different knots that you'll need to learn: backstitch, French knot. You can substitute a colonial knot for a French knot if you cannot get French knots. Satin stitch, leaf stitch, woven wheel, lazy daisy, stem stitch, and that's the basics. And then here they show you how to do everything. You can find YouTube videos on how to do all these stitches. The first stitch you'll probably run into is learning the different stitches. The satin stitch is just lines that are lined up next to each other. The trick with the satin stitch is to make sure that they're right next to each other, maybe a thread or 2 apart. The back stitch, that is where you start and you just you have a short on top and a long underneath is the best way to explain it. For that one, you need to make sure that the top ones, which will show on the front, are the same length. Then you have the stem stitch, and that one, as you can see from here, you're kind of bringing up your needle to the side so that it kind of overlaps. French knot, that's a wrap stitch around your needle. Then you have the woven wheel stitch. Now the woven wheel stitch is also popular in ribbon embroidery, which is another type of needlecraft, and it creates flowers, let's put it that way. Then you have the leaf stitch, the lazy daisy, and then it talks about the beaded embroidery, which is fairly simple. Now the thing to realize that when you do these different types of embroideries, this floss that you see in here is what they call divisible floss, meaning that it is made up of a certain number of strands, and DMC is made up of 6 strands. So there's 6 strands in there, and the best thing to do is cut a length of about 18 inches to start with, 18 to 24. I always suggest 18 if you're not familiar with embroidery at all. You can put a knot in it. It's not like cross stitch. You can put a knot in it, and before you even knot it, it's suggested that you take each length of embroidery floss that you're going to use, take it apart, divide it into 6 strands, and then put them back together again. What this does is it actually fluffs up the thread and makes it lay flatter. Let's see. It says cut 2 feet, so 24 inches. You want to split them into a set of 3 each. So for the embroidery on this flower piece, you want to use 3 strands, so or 3 strings. Let's put it that way. Like I said, this may be one I will take and do a demonstration on. The next thing you have is the bead embroidery. It's less challenging, it adds some flair. You do not need to separate the embroidery floss if you like to fill in the middle. Start by making a circle outline. I would use, say, a small glass or something and make the outline, and use a satin stitch to fill it up. You start in the middle of one side, go straight across the other and continue till your circle is filled in. So you always, with the satin stitch, you always kind of start in the middle and work on either side of it. Then you thread with the long thread, poke the needle up at one end of the long line, add 16 beads, and point it down, poke it down. Now, when you're doing something like this, you want to make sure that your beads lay flat. Now, the problem with doing all 16 at once, they're easy to lift up. What I would suggest doing then is, once you get your long line down, go back with your string about every 3 beads or 4 beads and just run it back. Like I said, this is probably something I will do a tutorial on. There's an extra embroidery hoop and transfer paper. Create the personalized design on the tote bag. You can print out a design and trace over it with a pen or pencil, transfer it. Make sure that the dark side, which is the inside here, is kind of the shiny side. The dull side is the back side. The shiny side is the step that will transfer. So you want to make sure that shiny side down on the front. And you know, you just can put anything you want. You put a name, you put a design, anything you want on it. So this was a neat kit. I like this. This is definitely one that I will keep. And I think once I get my craft room done, or to a point where I can still work in there again, this will be one kit that I will take and do a demo on. Simply because I think there's 3 different pieces in here, and we can have 3 different tutorials. I'll keep that one in mind for a tutorial. Hey, Mittens. You come to say hi? No, you came for treats. Alright, here's the last one. Like I said, it's a big box. Thank you, Mittens. Thankfully, it moves Mittens. So, let's see what's in our big box. I have no idea. I didn't look. Oh, okay. So, we got flowers. We got more flowers. Can you see where it's going? We have roses. We have floral tape, floral wires, and floral cutters. We have a large ring. I'm going to put it back in the box. Guess what we're doing? We're making a floral hoop kit. So here's this project. So like I said, this one definitely would be mid-teens, 15, 16 years old because of this. This is dangerous. This is actually a floral cutter, I believe. No, it's a wire cutter. But because these flowers have wire in them, you can use that for that. And floral tape. Floral tape stretches. So don't be afraid to use a shorter piece than you think you need because it stretches. And of course the wire. And we have lovely peach and cream roses. Yep. With stuff. And leaves. I can never remember it. It's baby's breath, maybe. That's what it is. Okay. Then we have some more larger roses with some almost like wheat things. Now these are plastic. Except for the flowers themselves and the leaves. They're a paper, but like these are plastic. There's a little more of the baby's breath in there. These, there's a specific name for this. It's a type of rose, but I can't think of the name of it. They'll come to me in the middle of the night. Again, they're made out of a paper type material. Very pretty. So, eucalyptus, that's what it's... Okay. So it says it's a 19-inch hoop. It said good hoop. It should be gold hoop. Variety of full floral and greenery, floral wire, floral tape, and wire cutters. They suggest planning it out. They said that's the fun portion, is to arrange it any way you want. Place it along. What they suggest doing is just placing it along, see where everything fits, how it looks. You know, maybe, oh, I got too much pink in this section. I'm going to move some pink over here where there's more white, and you know, just things like that. And take a picture. Once you get to how you like it, take a picture and refer to that picture as you're putting it together. Then you should take and trim your stems. Cut down to the appropriate size so they don't stick out too much. Then they suggest then you use some of the floral wires to attach it to the hoop. Begin in the middle of the hoop and work your way outward for a strong foundation. Cross two stems together and wrap floral wire around them and secure them to the hoop. Peonies, that's what they are. Okay. You continue to add the stems in that, using the leaves, floral, and eucalyptus to fill up any empty sections or holes. Make sure to wrap the floral tape tightly and around all the stems so everything is attached securely. Once you finish, it, go around again with the floral wire and then reposition and fluff out. You can wrap floral tape around the portion of the floral hoop for an extra layer. This ensures that no wire is showing or stems are poking out, and it gives the hoop or the whole design overall a nice finished look, professional look. And then when you're done, hang it on your front door and on a wall. There are a lot of videos regarding this, on how to do this. There's also, no, I was thinking wild roses. That's what I was thinking of. Okay. So this is a nice quick craft. It's something your tween or even a school-aged child can help you with. Just make sure they're nowhere near the wire cutters. And that was the second one from Adults and Crafts. Okay, that is everything I have to show you. Description and a link to the website will be down in the description box below, along with pricing. And if you know of any other boxes, craft type boxes you want me to try out, let me know, and I'll see if I can order one or two to check them out, and we'll see what my opinion of them are. You know, and all the boxes depend upon the craft on how they're packed in that. You know, everything's packed nice. You get everything in it. These are great ways to try out a craft, see if you like it. You know, you can go in and sometimes buy boxes from previous months of maybe a craft that you really wanted to try out but missed. And it, you know, sometimes these sites have extras of them that they're willing to ship to you so that you can buy them individually. So keep that in mind. Well, according to Poppy, it's time for me to go and make dinner for my husband. So we'll see you guys. Bye. Thanks for watching.